What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Over the Octagon podcast. Don't forget, if you're watching this over on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, like our video. Today, we have a great video for you because we're recapping this past UFC pay-per-view, UFC 305 between Israel Adesanya and Dricus du Plessis. Now, obviously, we know how the ending of that one turned out. I'm shocked. I can't tell you guys enough how shocked I am at the end of that fight. I can't believe it. But the entire card had some pretty amazing moments. We're going to dive into the whole thing here, give you guys our opinions on everything from all the way up and down the main card through the prelims. And then we're going to look at some of the events we have coming up as well. All right, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave us a comment. And if you're listening to the Over the Octagon podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music, do not forget to turn on automatic downloads so you never miss another episode of Over the Octagon. Rate the show 5 stars. It helps us a ton, helps push our show out to newer and bigger audiences. All right, we thank you guys for the continued support. We're going to keep it hot, baby. Peace.
Hey, Pussy, are you still there?
I actually admire that you can actually be this fake. And, like, when the TV comes on, how you can just change. You're the scum of the earth.
You don't doubt me, I couldn't do it. The odds that I couldn't do it. Look at me now. Look at me. Pound for pound. Headshot, dead. That's it.
Let's go.
What's up, brother?
Welcome back to another episode of Over the Octagon podcast with your hosts, Joel and Evan. And, fresh off UFC pay-per-view, UFC 305 in Perth, Australia last night. Israel Adesanya versus Dricus du Plessis. If you're listening to this episode or watching the video on YouTube specifically, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, like the video, leave us a comment, let us know what you thought about last night's pay-per-view. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Spotify, don't forget to turn on automatic downloads and rate the show 5 stars. But without further ado,
Yes, sir.
let's get into it, man.
Let's fucking do it, man.
Let's get into it.
What in the world
What happened? What happened
is
last
going
night?
on in the world of MMA? Please explain to me, because I don't know.
So for all of our audio only listeners, go ahead, throw that back up for a second.
Let me throw it back up one more time.
Yeah, throw that
All
back
right,
up for a second. So for all of our audio only listeners that's not watching the video over on YouTube right now, Joel currently has a South African flag as his camera background.
Yes,
So,
I do. Yep.
That's where we're at Sunday evening here recording our podcast episode.
Well, if you heard me on the last episode, then
Yeah,
you would know that I picked DDP to win. So
It's so
if anybody
confusing.
can do this, I can do it. It is very confusing. I ain't gonna lie to you. As much as I thought DDP could win, I also thought there was a high chance Izzy was going to beat him very easily. How it ended, I did not see that coming.
It feel like did it feel like to you that it ended just super quick? Like
It was
I mean, it felt like Izzy, at least from my perspective, like Izzy was winning. He was starting to gain momentum. He was starting to touch his body up really bad. It looked like it was slowing DDP down. Like, I felt like he was winning the exchanges on the feet. Like, yeah, I think that second round when he got taken down a couple times, like, yeah, he lost the second round, I think. I think DDP won the second round because of takedowns.
I think going into the fourth round, if I'm not mistaken, 2 judges had DDP up 2-1.
Okay, so they gave him the third too. All right,
Yeah.
well,
But the
and
third,
what, one had it the other, and one judge had it the other way. You're saying
one had
going
it
into
in
the fourth.
going.
So I personally, I just thought the exchanges and what Izzy was hitting him with was better. But then, like, right, so that last exchange, he hits him with a hook kind of on top of the head there.
Yeah.
And maybe he just never really recovered from that, because then he hit him with a
so.
couple more right hooks as Izzy was
Going down.
circling away on the fence. and then he went down, and I mean, he immediately it was just over so fast.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think it's so hard to say about DDP's style because it's not really a style, man. It's just the guy just has no quit.
Yeah,
That's how he's winning these fights, man. It's like I think I said that last week when I said the downfall of this fight for Izzy is going to be the pressure of DDP putting it on Izzy and Izzy getting frustrated with the fact that he can't finish the fight because DDP just didn't do it. I thought he was exhausted after the second round, dude.
yeah.
I was like, this guy is tired, but he just kept coming.
See, and I think I like that point, and I think that that's got to be it, right?
Yes.
So you have, because even like by eye watching Dricus do Plessis, you're like, man, he's tired.
Yeah, he throws
but he's just not though,
and he's not tired.
But like even in that fourth round, like he still comes, he still fights the same way. It's almost like it's not even like he's like it's just it looks sloppy. It doesn't look crisp. It doesn't look clean. It looks sloppy. It doesn't look sharp. Nothing about it looks right.
And
you know what I mean?
Powerful, dude. That's the problem. It's like if he hits you, it's gonna hurt, and it's going to put you down.
But they don't. But they don't even look like that hard of shots.
They don't. But he's throwing with every ounce of everything he has in every punch.
But like when like Alex Pereira throws a punch and it lands, you're like, oh fuck, or like a Derek Lewis, or Tai Tuivasa we just saw lose, right? But Tai Tuivasa, like when those guys hit you, and I know they're heavyweights, right? It's a little bit different, and Alex Pereira, but he was a middleweight champion, but like those are guys with known power, and
sure. When
you see them punch somebody and hit somebody, it looks extremely powerful.
Yeah.
There's other, like, to Poirier, 145, when he knocks people out, it looks powerful.
Yep.
DDP does not look powerful to me, but it doesn't matter what it looks like to me, I guess, because it works. There's no...
I just think it throws off fighters like that, man. I really do. I think I think that's the reason why Izzy lost to Strickland and has now lost to DDP. It's like these styles that just like where they don't allow a master martial artist to do what they can do best, where it fucks with their rhythm. I feel like it is just a bad problem for a guy like Izzy. And that's why I feel like he lost, not last night, but even like when he lost against Strickland, like it was just a bad matchup. He was getting pressure the whole fight. Like fighters like that don't like that. They like to control the whole fight, And if they're not able to do that, then they get caught off guard by these loopy, weird overhand rights and like he basically did two right jabs and a left hook, and then caught him with a right and a right and a right, and then
his punches are extremely unorthodox, I guess, is the politically correct term we would use for Dricus du Plessis is unorthodox. And in some situations, I guess that just works, man, and I think his toughness is the biggest factor.
100%.
Right. And I mean, he's 30 years old too. So like, he's coming into his prime, arguably, as the middleweight champion of the world. And he's extremely durable. He's extremely tough. I think the body shots are just the way to go. Those shots from Izzy last night looked to be the most effective.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because he does keep such a high guard all the time.
Yep.
And the body's open. So, and when he was ripping some of those hooks and stuff to the body and landing hard, they hurt him. You could tell.
100%.
But dude, it's tough. I don't know. I'm so flabbergasted. That finish happened so quickly.
So fast.
That it was just like, wait, what's happening?
I will say,
it was over.
The ability for him to like fight off of both stances so well, like he switches stances constantly. Like if you watch Dricus fight, dude, he switches stances every 10 seconds, every 5 seconds. Just
Yeah,
back and forth.
But that's kind of unorthodox too, isn't it?
Sure.
Because like when you watch a guy like Izzy or like O'Malley, for example, like some of these guys that are really like quote unquote master strikers or some of the best strikers that people claim to be in the UFC, the way that they move is very similar.
Yeah.
But Dricus does not. I wouldn't say he's one of the best strikers. I'm not saying that, but I mean, like, he's switching stances, but the way he switches stances is not like anybody else either.
Because he throws like a right, switch stance, kick, switch stance, jab. Like he's just boom.
Well, and it's interesting, and it's interesting too, because I did see a short video today of the way he kind of rushes in off of like a double jab.
Yep.
So he throws like a double jab, and instead of like taking 2 steps, he almost leaves his right foot back and like skips and takes 2 steps with his left foot and kind of skips in off of a double jab and leaves his right foot back. So then once he's in, he's already squared up, like he can throw again right away.
Yeah, I saw.
You know what I mean?
A meme on Twitter. It said it looks like he gets surprisingly pushed from the back. Like someone came up behind him and surprisingly pushed him from the back, and he trips forward. Like that's how he looks when he comes.
Well, so then I would wonder, like, what does somebody with like a good Muay Thai base do to him? Because I feel like and
that would be Izzy though.
Right, you would. You would. That's a good point. But I was just thinking coming in with that like skip step double jab kind of thing, like I would feel like that would set up perfectly for like a Muay Thai trip.
Sure.
Right? And a fucking elbow. Bang. Skip right into that.
I mean,
gay Coach Kishin bitch.
I mean, but let's be real though. If you can't, you got to give the guy credit after that one.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, his last 3 wins are against 3 former champions. Robert Whittaker, Sean Strickland, and now Izzy. Like, that's 3 pretty fucking good wins, especially with Whittaker on a potentially a number 1 contender fight right now. Strickland, who was the champ, is now about to probably fight him. And then Izzy, who was, defended the belt 5 times and was the champ for a while,
Yeah, Izzy's last 11 fights have all been title fights.
Yeah.
Or maybe 12 after last night. But, so... Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get, better than Israel Adesanya. I mean, that's a insane resume. But DDP last 3 wins, like you said, Whittaker, Strickland, Izzy. He's legit. I think if what I thought was going to happen last night happened and Izzy came out and just flexed on him and beat the fuck out of him for 5 rounds and won a easy decision and just pieced him up, I think you could go back and say, like, oh, all right, 1, Strickland probably wasn't as good as we thought he was, and that win over Izzy wasn't legit. But also what happened last night was, in my opinion, legitimized Strickland's win over Izzy more.
Shows you how good he is because he went 5 rounds with Dricus. And
Izzy did.
Arguably, some say that he could have been the winner of the fight.
So, and it was made to seem that Strickland's win over Izzy was kind of a fluke. He caught lightning in a bottle, so to speak, or whatever. But I don't know if you can really say that now, right? Because this was, I mean, this was arguably the best version of Izzy we could have seen.
Yeah,
he looked good. I mean, he's 35 years old, right? You're not going to see the 32-year-old Izzy, but still, I mean, this is the best current version of Israel Adesanya we could see.
Sure.
And he got submitted and choked out. So, and same thing. Strickland went to a split decision with DDP. That there's still a lot of people think that he won. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it anymore, to be honest.
I'm telling you, man, this. I think we are finally seeing this weird new age fighters. It's everything, all the ones that we grew up on, not really grew up on, but all the, the past decade of champions, the past, like the good fighters from the past, like they're kind of like falling away, and these new generational fighters are coming in here, man. Like these 20 to 30-year-olds, dude.
I wonder if, an interesting note to that is, when mixed martial arts became really legitimate, you had a lot of fighters coming from other primary disciplines, right? You have, and we still talk about it today. We have wrestler. Oh, he's a wrestler. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He's, Kayla Harrison's a judo gold medalist. Izzy was a kickboxing world champion. Alex, kickboxing world champion. Now we have guys that aren't really doing singular disciplines. They're starting in mixed martial arts, and they're training mixed martial arts from the beginning, and so now, and like what, that style looks completely different.
Yeah, it does.
Right? Like your striking's going to be different, your wrestling's different, your ground game's different. It's unique. It is unique.
Yeah, I mean, it was so unique that it pissed you off so much you dipped out on the Discord last night.
I did, yeah.
I thought you were going to miss I thought we were about to see Izzy retire right there, and I was like, Murky just fucking dipped.
Yeah, I did.
Miss the guy retiring.
So I got a DM too afterwards from somebody that was in the Discord watching the fights with us, and I was like, shout out Doc J, and he was like, dude, what happened? And I was like, I'm gonna be honest, I got pissed and I just left, and then like 2 minutes after I left, I remembered that I was sharing the fights for everybody. So once I left, I realized that nobody else could see them anymore, and that's my bad. But it caught me so off guard, bro.
Yeah.
It's even still today, like, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck just happened?
I don't hate. I mean, I would much rather have DDP as the champ than like a Bilal Muhammad or something like that. Like,
yeah,
I don't dislike Dricus. Like, I to be honest, he's never been in a really bad fight. Like, he actually goes out and fights, like,
for
his
sure.
fights are good. So
yeah,
he's gonna do that. I can appreciate him as a champion because at least I know when he goes out, he gives it everything he has. He doesn't fucking fight these, I just need to fight to keep my belt. I'm going to play reserved fighting type shit. Like, he went out there last night to fucking kill Izzy.
Yeah.
And he did what he did. I mean,
he's not a boring fighter, is your point.
He's not a boring fighter.
No.
I can appreciate that. So, like,
it's always scrap.
How he looks when he fights, he puts on a show, and that's all I want to see,
Yeah, and you were kind of beginning to speak of like the post-fight stuff, and like, they obviously
they were
squashed their beef. Yeah, it was beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. That's how it should be after a fight, always, every time. Dricus is really a class act, also.
Very much, man.
Like,
he was. I did not expect him to be that like respectable and that like direct towards Izzy last night, but he had nothing but good words.
Right. So he's a good champion.
He is a good champion. I'll say it. He's a good champion.
Yeah, he's a good champion. The way he carries himself, kissing his coach on the mouth aside, the way that he carries himself as a champion, I think, is admirable. And we probably need more people in the sport like that, to be honest.
For sure. I agree. I mean, gotta give him his flowers, dude. He did a hell of a job.
Incredible. Was a great fight. Ended up getting the finish in round 4 he jumped on Izzy's back, one underhook, flipped him over, got a hook in, flipped him over, got the second hook in, choked him the fuck out. Yep. And that shit was deep. Izzy had no chance.
Sure was.
So then now we've already been told previously that Strickland gets the winner of this fight. And then, and we'll talk about this more in a little bit, but, Jared Cannonier fights next week. He's had some time off also, right?
Well, he just lost.
Oh, that's right.
Last fight. He lost to Brendan Allen, right?
No, that was,
well, he did just lose. I know that for sure.
You're thinking of he lost to Imavov.
Yeah, Imavov.
Yeah,
okay,
you're thinking of Chris Curtis.
Oh,
Chris Curtis just lost to
But Jared Cannonier is coming.
He just lost to correct. He just lost to Imavov, which is why Imavov's 4, Cannonier's 5. But Izzy loses to DDP. So Strickland DDP rematch next. Whitaker,
Hamzat.
yeah, that's booked, right?
Yep. So I think what's going to happen is we see Strickland du Plessis, and then the loser of Hamzat Whitaker fights Izzy. And the winner of that fights the winner of DDP Strickland. No, the winner of Hamzat and Whitaker fights the winner.
Yeah,
of Strickland.
is the next title. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then the loser of that fight will fight Izzy.
Which is kind of crazy, right? Because, I mean, at least as it stands right now, Hamzat Chimaev is the 11th ranked middleweight.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Whitaker could beat him. So, I mean.
I do too. I'm just, like, it's just crazy. So he's going to, like, Hamzat, you know, I know he was fighting at welterweight. He moved up. That weight cut was hard for him. He moves up. So, you know, you're going to have him fight. But, I mean, Robert Whitaker is, if you're going to beat Robert Whitaker, you deserve a title shot. So,
Yep.
I just think, as far as Hamzat's concerned, like, rankings mean very little, at least at this point.
For sure.
You know, so, and then Cannonier fights next week. I think a win for Cannonier, you know, maybe puts him up in there too. But you got to think, like, what we just laid out is potentially 2-3 fights out in the middleweight division.
So you're looking at like late next
end
year.
of next year. Yep. End of next year for anybody else to kind of sniff a title.
Yep.
Like everybody that you have in the picture right now, the Stricklands, Robert Whitaker, Hamzat Chimaev, like between the and Dricus du Plessis, obviously the four of those guys, that's going to carry your title picture out in the middleweight division until really the end of 2025.
Unless we see like Bo Nickel come out of nowhere and fucking.
He would have to beat Izzy or something. You know what I mean? Like he would have to
by
beat
end of next year though. Izzy may be retired. I mean, we don't know. And I'm only saying Bo Nickel because like they give him a top 15 fight early next year, and then he steamrolls or wins, and then you're looking at summer, then he gets a top 10 fight, he wins, and then we've seen it happen a million times. He's a face of the UFC, gets a title shot, boom, end of the year next year. That may be my bet.
Well, even like O'Malley, right? Like O'Malley, beat Peter Yan, but O'Malley wasn't high ranked when he beat Peter Yan. He beat Peter Yan and then just basically waited for a chance for the title.
Yep.
Like was like, no, title. And he just waited until Aljo. Who did Aljo just fight right before that?
Aljo?
Yeah, right before he lost to O'Malley, he fought. Was it Cejudo or not Cejudo?
He fought Peter Yan.
No. He fought T.J. Dillashaw.
Was it
right?
TJ?
Yeah, I think so. It might have been.
Oh yeah. And TJ was hurt.
Yeah,
and he got hurt and he finished him in like fucking the first round.
Yeah. So, that's right. But either way, I mean, like O'Malley took that number one contender fight, won it, and then just waited and got that title shot, and then took advantage of it and won. So that can obviously happen. You can go from, like, we could potentially see Hamzat do it, right?
Yeah.
Like Hamzat's 11. You could see Hamzat beat Whitaker. I don't know if he will, but you could see Hamzat beat Whitaker and then beat the champion, and Hamzat Chimaev could be your middleweight champion by the middle of next year.
Yep, and then
or beginning of next year
versus Hamzat Chimaev.
That I feel like is, as long as Hamzat continues fighting.
Yeah,
that's the biggest question. That to me is what we don't want to see. I don't want to see. It would be terrible, I think, for the UFC if Hamzat Chimaev became middleweight champion.
Yeah,
because you want to talk about inactive champions, brother. You're begging for interim champion fights if that happens.
That's true.
It's almost a guarantee. So anyway, all for that. So that was your main event. Great. It was a good main event though. It was a good fight, and
dude, the whole card was great, dude. Four of the five fights, the underdog won in the main card last night.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring that up. So like I had a parlay obviously that got busted relatively early. Well, not really. Gamrot sold the parlay, but I had Kai Kara France on that parlay. It was kind of a dicey pick. It seemed like, right?
Yeah,
It seemed like a dicey pick
especially
in the
after
beginning.
Steve Erceg coming off the title fight, looking good against Pantoja. Kind of good. I mean, not really. He got beat, but
Yeah, but his stock rose from a loss. We talked about that when that fight happened back in May. His stock rose. So it was a dicey pick, dude. Kai Kara France comes out in round 1 and fucking TKOs Steve Erceg, dude.
bro, he looked good, bro. He looked really
The
fucking
little
good.
the little Kiwi boy.
He looked
With
good, dude. Yeah, he's fucking wild, bro.
Yo, I mean, listen.
I'm not mad.
Listen, if, hey, he did that shit. He really went out there and did that shit.
Damn right he did.
So,
Now I feel like he's next in line now. I mean, has to be, right?
Yeah. I mean, so as far as your flyweight rankings go, well, so you have Brandon Royval and Tatsui Taira.
Yeah, but still, though, after the performance Kai Kara put on last night, I feel like you almost have to give him the title shot next. I mean, Amir Albazi's still there too, right?
I feel like Amir Albazi should be next. And then I feel like the winner of Brandon Royval, Tatsui Taira should fight Kai Kara France.
Okay.
And then, you know what I mean? Like, you give Amir Albazi it next. I'm going to assume Pantoja wins that because I think Pantoja's incredible. I know Albazi's good, but Pantoja's kind of like a Dricus du Plessis too, right?
I've said that. I've
yeah.
said that, dude. He's like the middleweight. He's like the middleweight Pantoja, just someone who just takes a beating, but just never stops, dude. He never quits.
Pantoja is definitely a little bit more specialized, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
On the ground and stuff than Dricus is anywhere, but his toughness specifically, I'm speaking to, But I feel like you give
Pantoja Kai Kara France, man. Like after what we saw last night, be a good ass fight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Tatsui Taira Brandon Royval fight.
When
and
is that?
Think soon or end of. Let's see. So it's not France, right? I don't know if they have like that event up yet. I'm not exactly sure. It's the end of it's this year.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so it's this year. I want to say maybe September, October sometime.
Okay. Yeah.
So, within a month or so, I think. Month or two. But yeah, so like, I don't know. I wouldn't hate Kai Kara France fighting the winner of that, right? But we don't have Pantoja booked right now. So
no.
That performance last night could very well have just given Kai Kara France a title shot. Yep. And I wouldn't be upset with that at all. It's deserved.
Amir Albazi's last fight was kind of like wrestling, right? Boring, if I'm not mistaken.
So his last fight he beat Kai Kara France, but it was a split decision, and again, there was a lot of people that thought KKF won that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kai Kara France won that. He thought it himself. So, I don't know. I don't know. And then because then other than that, like Albazi's resume, like, I mean, it's kind of mid.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's fucking mid. So, I don't know that he like quote unquote deserves it. I think Kai Kara France after performance last night deserves it.
I agree.
So I wouldn't hate Kai Kara France getting a title shot off of that at all. But we'll see. We'll see how shit shakes out. Schedules, whatever. But unbelievable performance from him. Kind of feel for Steve Erceg.
Yeah, man. He's a good guy. I hate it.
He got fucking caught, though. I mean, it's
he did.
That's it. Like, it's tough to even judge anything off of that. You know what I mean? Because we didn't have any Steve Erceg fight film to kind of watch. It was just him getting fucking smoked.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, and then, I think
Dan Hooker. Ooh.
Yeah, so this was fight of the night.
It was, as it should be.
Kai Car-France did get a performance of the night bonus, and then this
yeah.
is your
So-
fight of the night between Dan Hooker, Matisse Gamrot. Dan Hooker won a split decision. I think it was split. I think split's probably the right call.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I liked him winning though.
I didn't hate it.
I think
Dude, did you see that video where he was where he was in his corner and
Yes.
they were putting on there? That's just one of the that's
What did
the
he
hardest
say?
shit I've ever
So
seen.
so
He's like,
just
boys, I love this shit.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
As they're
just,
like
as they're
he has a
putting
cut
it
on his cheek. They're sticking a Q-tip in the cut on his cheek.
Yeah, he's like,
Mm-hmm.
boys, I love this shit. I'm just like, dude, that's the hardest. That right there, that's a fighter. That's a warrior, bro.
Yeah, you can tell. Some of these guys are really just different breed.
Yeah.
You know what I
Gamrot
mean?
wasn't ready for that either. Dan Hooker's another one, bro. Just we'll take it, keep coming fucking back, dude. And
Yeah,
just-
you're gonna
just
have to
knock
finish
out.
him.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to finish him. Yeah, and
Gamrot
he,
got tired, dude.
he pieced Gamrot up.
Yeah,
Like his striking on the feet looked incredible. Gamrot, it got to a point to where Gamrot's like literally just diving for ankles,
yeah,
just fucking panic diving for an ankle.
yeah.
Yeah. I like the win. I like the win for Dan Hooker, especially because, a couple of Gamrot's takedowns. Well, I mentioned it to you guys last night because in live real time, again, I'm hearing him count up takedowns as his hands are just clasped
Pulling him
around the
down.
waist.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like pull him down. He gets back up. His hands are still around his waist. He just pulls him back down. He gets up. He pulls him back down. They're like 3 takedowns. I'm like, well, like,
yeah. I mean,
okay.
he has 5 of 15 takedowns. So
That's not good. You know what I mean? Like, that's not great. It's not as bad as what's his name was 1 for 21 or whatever that one time, but it's not great. And that's the thing. He was like panic fucking diving on his ankle because he was losing so bad on the feet. So
I think I have the fight to make now.
Okay.
I've been thinking about it a little bit
For the lightweight,
for the lightweight.
does it involve DP?
It does.
Yeah, me too. I was thinking the same
Yeah.
shit, dude.
I'm
Dan
thinking
Hooker,
you do
Dustin Poirier.
Dan Hooker, Dustin Poirier too.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like that's the fight to make. Like
I
you could
agree.
do
That's a
Justin
fucking
Gaethje,
entertaining
but
fight.
I think Dustin Poirier is the one to make. That should be the retirement fight right there. Like,
I love it.
it's
I
gonna be
think-
a scrap.
Yeah, I love it. I think the fans would love it. Yeah, I'm so about that. I
Yep.
love that fight.
I mean, Hooker made a top. He's top 5,
Yeah,
and with that win,
right. You still have Gaethje out there. Kind of don't know what's going on
You got
with him
Charles
coming off
too,
that
you know?
knocked out. Yeah, Charles coming off the loss to Armin. Islam's apparently hurt. Armin's suspended. Like, there's just a lot of weird shit going on. So I don't. But yeah, Dustin Poirier, Dan Hooker, book it. That's an entertaining fight. That's a fight of the night. Like, that's a fight of the night.
100%. Absolutely.
So I know
Go for it.
I saw that other places today, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, dude, yes, I love that idea.
Yeah, that's a good fight to make for sure.
But I mean, shout out to Dan Hooker for the win, and then your only heavyweight fight on the main card last night, Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Tai Tuivasa. Rozenstruik won a split decision.
Yeah, which was wild.
There was one judge that was immediately fired last night. I've never even heard of that before, but
Dude,
I'm
that
so
was
glad that happened.
30-27.
So one judge, and we tweeted out the guy's name and everything. If you're following us on Twitter, all our social medias, the Tai Tuivasa Jairzinho Rozenstruik fight was not close, in my opinion. Like, that was a 30-27 for Rozenstruik all day.
100%.
One guy gave it 30-27 the opposite way. It seemed like everybody in the world was baffled by that scoring.
Yeah, like I think he got it backwards. Like he was writing the scorecard backwards by accident.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the only logical thing that makes sense. Because
Or he's legitimately corrupt and had money on the fucking
I
fight
do
and is a scumbag.
I mean, but let's be real here. Tai Tuivasa is now on a 4-fight losing streak.
Yeah.
So, I mean, pack them up, bud. You're fighting fucking doo-doos now forever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if him and Derek Lewis want to fight again, that could be fun, I guess.
You got to give Junior Taffa or Justin Taffa Tai Tuivasa now.
I don't know if they would fight. You think they'd fight each other?
Why not? Oh, Australians?
They're like, yeah, they're from like same place. I mean, I don't know if there's even a relationship there. So
I don't know either.
But
you just got to give him somebody who's like shit in the bed,
the
trying to
Taffas,
still good.
The Taffas aren't great though. You know what I mean?
No,
the Taffas are not great either. So, you know, I don't know.
Is Tai Tuivasa apparently?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. Once he fights anybody, any of these kind of new age heavyweights that have like legitimate skill,
yeah,
it's a tough night for him.
No one's standing and banging anymore like that.
Well,
like,
even on the feet, like Rosenstrike's he's a really good striker for heavyweight. Yeah, he's not going to stand there with his hands down and just throw fucking hooks with you.
Not with a guy who just could potentially one strike knock you out like that. Like, no way.
So, shout out to Rosenstrike. He pieced up Tai Tuivasa, got a split decision win. Should have been a unanimous decision, but, you know, there was some corrupt judging. But they dismissed the judge. He was supposed to ref the co-main event, which wouldn't have mattered anyway, obviously. Kai Car-France got a knockout in the first round, but either way, they dismissed him. No big deal. Fuck that dude. I hope he never refs again. And then, honestly, did you miss this last night?
What?
Originally, did you miss this fight between Li Jingliang and Carlos Prates?
Yeah, I was on the way home.
So, fuck, dude.
I heard Carlos Prates. Well, I've rewatched it, so I saw that
Carlos Prates is a fucking problem. I mean, to put it into perspective, I understand he fought Li Jingliang. However, Jingliang has never been knocked out.
Yeah.
His toughness, his chin has always been, you know, something that people always talk about. And Prates knocked him out cold. Like, he was laying on the mat. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
He styled on him a little bit, too. He was fucking him up. But welterweight prospect, I mean, you know, just, he's undefeated in the UFC. Beat Charles Radke. Beat Giles. Now Jingliang. You know, all knockouts. He's 3-0 in the UFC with 3 knockouts.
Yeah.
So he's never seen a third round. I mean, I think you give him a ranked opponent. Like, I think he's at that point. 3 fights, 3 knockouts in the UFC. I think you give him a ranked opponent at welterweight. Shit, maybe Kevin Holland.
Well, Kevin Holland's booked.
Yeah, that's right. He did just take a fight, right? Luque?
Well, Luque's going to likely fight Nick Diaz still. They're probably going to rebook that at some point.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, I know. Who knows? I don't know. I don't really know.
MVP?
Could.
Prates versus MVP? I think you got to give him somebody in that or you just give him fucking like a Joaquin Buckley. That'd be wild.
Well, Buckley's on the come up though. He ain't getting that far of a jump for beating Li Jingliang.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just looking like Jeff Neal? Like I know he's 10.
And he's booked too.
Yeah, so I don't know who you give him.
You just give him a top 20 guy, maybe not even top 15 yet.
Right.
Book him right outside. I mean, even that right outside of that 20 to 15 though, there's fighters in there. For sure. But yeah, the main card was great. I had no bad things to say. Prelims were decent. I mean, Junior Taffa with the verbal submission or the verbal tap out, screaming at the top of his lungs because he tapped or I guess was hurt, and then that controversy afterwards and shit. I saw a video.
I still don't really know how I feel about that. Like,
well, it's a rule.
What's the rule?
Like a verbal tap out. It's
But what's a verbal tap out?
if someone screams that they're in pain. Like scream, you don't have to say tap. I tap. If they scream where it's almost like they're screaming because they're in that much pain, the ref can stop the fight for a verbal tap out. That's a rule.
That's a bad rule. Because
what if your arms are like tangled? You can't tap. So there has to be a rule for a verbal tap out.
Right.
You know?
So no doubt, absolutely. But you just screaming that like. I don't see how that's...
but if he screamed if you're screaming
if you scream tap, you scream tap. That's what
maybe
you say.
The first thing he didn't fucking think of was to scream tap. It was fuck, my legs broke in half.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like that. Like I don't think he was gonna win that fight anyway because he's terrible on his back. He can't fight on the ground at all, and Walker's going to take him down no matter what. But, that whole thing is just weird. But whatever. Does it really matter in the grand scheme of things?
No.
Junior
really.
Taffa, Walter Walker? No, it doesn't. I know Junior Taffa's fucking pissed, and it sucks for him.
Yeah. Did you see the video of him at home that his brother Justin was, recording him? He was outside in the corner of a fence just staring at the fence, smoking a cigarette. Because he was pissed off that he lost the fight.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, dude. I totally understand.
They're still about that business. I fuck with the Taffa brothers, but they definitely have shown here recently that they're tied to Ivasas, you know? They're just want to go in there and bang, and that's it. Yeah. So.
Casey O'Neill got a great win last night. I was
actually
surprised by that. Dude,
I was too.
Yeah, she looked good.
I really was. Luana Santos had a really good win recently, and I thought she looked good.
I thought Luana Santos was going to submit her.
Yeah.
And even when it got to the ground, Casey O'Neill held her own, and on the feet it wasn't close. On the feet, Casey O'Neill looked good.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Same thing. Josh Calabal, Richard Ramos on the prelims. That was a fucking banger of a fight. Ramos
Jack Jenkins
winning
fucking
split
dominated
decision.
Burns, dude.
Yeah. He was a minus 800. That was kind of to be expected.
Sure.
I feel like, but that overall, solid card, good knockouts, some good fights.
Not bad.
Prelims were a little weaker than some of the, better pay-per-view card, events that we've seen or whatever.
Sure.
But they still had some good fights on them. That Josh Calabal, Ricardo Ramos fight was really good. And I thought Calabal won, but the judges gave it to Ramos. But whatever. I thought that was a little controversial as well.
So after 305, we're about to get a month's worth of fight nights and then the Sphere, right?
So it looks like next week, this Saturday, August 24th, you're going to have a fight night. Yeah, Jared Cannonier, Kai Baralho.
Yep.
Angela Hill, Tabitha Ricci, Neil Magny. And then you get a week off, a week of nothing. And then September 7th, I think probably because that's Labor Day weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Then Labor Day weekend, there's nothing. And then the following week is Gilbert Burns, Sean Brady.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one, too.
And then the next week after that is the Sphere with Sean O'Malley, Merab Dvalishvili.
Yep.
So that's September 14th. So you really don't – you have 2 fight nights and a week off.
Okay.
And then the Sphere. And they're good fight nights.
Yeah, they're not bad.
They're not trash fight nights. They're we've had some fight nights recently where you look at it and you go, I don't even give a shit if I watch this. I'm gonna because I fucking don't hate myself. But
next week's fight night it's all right.
Sure,
it's all right.
Yeah, but dude, listen.
The Brady Burns card, that's good. That's a good fight
that main event in itself is a must see, in my opinion. But even the Cannonier Baralho fight this coming Saturday, Cannonier the Tabitha Ricci main event, co-main event or whatever. She's fighting Angela Hill. You know, okay, whatever. But like, I like Tabitha Ricci. I know you do too. I think she's good. Neil Magny, Michael Morales. Michael Morales undefeated. You know what I mean? Like that's a fight for the welterweight rankings. And then middleweight Edmund Shabazian, Gerard Mearshart. Like that's gonna be a war, brother.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good fight.
Oh,
You know
Michaels Morales. I mean, Neil Magny. This could be it's a good jump for Michaels Morales, and
yeah. I think this is a sneaky good card. Like this is one of those ones to where, you know, it's just a fight night, whatever. But then the fights end up just being fucking bangers, right?
Yeah.
And then a week off, and then we get Gilbert Burns, Sean Brady, which has Jessica Andrade, Natalia Silva. You know, other than that, like Trevor Peaks on the main card of that. So, but whatever. And then the Sphere, September 6th. So we're 3 weeks away from the Sphere, 2 fight nights and a week off, and then we're at UFC 306. So I'm liking the direction things are headed because the Sphere is, man, I'm so excited for the Sphere, dude. I'm so excited.
Ready for that shit, bruh.
Brian Ortega, Diego Lopez, Grasso, Shevchenko, O'Malley, Dvalishvili.
Sure.
Those last 3 are fucking incredible. Raul Rojas, Areno Donna, Norma Dumont. That's gangster. That's
some
super
bangers.
Gangster. Yep. And then you get right after that. Well, then it looks like you might get another fight night and then, a couple more fight nights. But UFC Paris is at the end of. Yeah, UFC Paris is at the end of September with Moicano and Saint Denis.
Yeah.
So September looks good.
September does look good.
Yeah, which is pretty much par for the course for the UFC. Like we're gearing up for
the end of the year.
October, November, December's is always.
They're always good.
Always banger cars, man.
Agree.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this week, dude. We recapped UFC 305 pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, if you want, just go ahead, throw it up one more time.
You may throw it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wish I had some fucking like music to go along with it.
Yeah,
You know, I just played the South African theme song if they have one.
They do, or national anthem. Yeah, they have.
Yeah, the national anthem, not their theme song, their national anthem.
But so yeah, man, solid pay-per-view. Shout out to Dricus du Plessis. What a banger. What a fucking banger. Yes, sir. But yeah, that's it for us. We will catch y'all on the next one. Next week. And if you're not already, like I said, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching, make sure you like the video. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought about UFC 305, what your favorite fight was, what you thought of the main event, what you think of Dricus du Plessis, any of the above, and then what event we have coming up that you're most looking forward to, and make sure that you go to all of our social medias over on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Like I've said, make sure you follow all of that stuff. We have a Facebook page as well. Same, listen to the episodes over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and just keep supporting. We're going to keep this thing hot. Shit, baby. Let's keep it rocking.
We'll have some interviews coming soon, so be ready.
Yeah, we're going to get back to that. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. Murky,
we go through this damn spurt to where all we did was interviews and we did no UFC content, and then we're like, fuck, we got to get back to UFC content. Then we get back to the UFC content, and now we're like, damn, we haven't done any interviews in a while.
I know.
So, shit, that's the way it goes.
We'll figure it out. I'll catch you on the next one, pimp.
Let's go, baby. Peace out.